30 years or so. Last year we had a laureate in physics, or in medicine and physiology, Svante Pääbo. So we are, of course, proud of this. We are proud of the Nobel, the heritage, and the tradition. But we're also proud that we are able to continue in this innovative idea that we have. And just a week ago or so, there was one of these ranking lists that we have today that says this is the World Intellectual Property Organization that Sweden has now raised to number 2 as the most innovative country in the world after Switzerland. But, and I say this to Christine who mentioned Silicon Valley, we have now passed the United States, so that is really proud. I want to say that Egypt is also on this list, and Egypt is one of the countries who has made the most progress over the last 10 years or so in this environment. So Egypt is coming strongly in this ranking list. Now, why do I say this and why do I talk about this in innovative environment? My point is that the ecosystem that you are now creating here, connection with the Techne Summit, the ecosystem that we have built in Stockholm over the last 20, 30 years or so, is really the important thing. And I will give you one example of how this works. I don't know if you are familiar with the company Skype. Anybody know Skype? Yeah. It was founded about 20 years ago, and the idea was that international phone calls was very expensive. And I remember this from my youth, because when I was traveling, I was in my 20s, I was traveling all over Europe, and you call your mom and dad like once a week, and you said, "Mom, I'm fine, I'm alive, thank you very much," and then you put the receiver down because it was very expensive. And of course the idea to use IP for telephone calls was what Skype did, and it grew very quickly, and you know the story. You could read it in Financial Times last week about the Niklas Zennström, who sold the company for $2.5 billion to eBay. Then he bought it back again, and then he sold it to Microsoft again for $8.5 billion. So this guy doesn't have to work more in his life now, if he doesn't want to. But he does a lot of things. He has a venture capital company called Atomico, works out of London, and doing investments in Klarna, doing investments in some company doing flying cars or whatever it was. I'm not sure that one is, but you never know. But what he does is that he reinvests his money into the same ecosystem where he comes from, actually. And this is exactly how this should work. And I learned that of the people who started Skype, they have started in turn more than 900 companies. And out of these 900 companies, 15 companies are so-called unicorns. Unicorns meaning that the company has a value of more than $1 billion. So the ecosystem is evolving, it's reinventing itself, and it's reinvesting in itself. And I think this is very important. I talked about Söderhamn before and our relations between Sweden and Egypt and how we can, I think, learn from each other. And Christine mentioned the high number of STEM engineers in Egypt. I think the same thing goes for software engineers in general. You have much more higher percentage of females in this line of business than we have, so we can learn from you. We also talked earlier about